how I ended up to talk in front of the United Nations about Cremonese violin making. Hello back again. This is Edgar from Cremona, Italy, and I do nothing else than building instruments from very early in the morning up to late at night, and even during nighttime. I am thinking and dreaming of my violins and what I can do to make them sound even better and to make them even nicer than before. Stay tuned and I will tell you all the story about the United Nations, the FAO, the Food and Agricultural Organizations of the United Nations in Rome. The whole thing started that I got the phone call. They asked me if it would be possible that I join them for a short speech during their 80th anniversary celebration. This is the whole year 2025 with these celebrations going on, and if it would be possible to make their short explanation about Cremonese violin making. Well, I thought, yes, why not? It's always interesting, you know. How often do you get an invitation to talk in front of the United Nations? This is here Elena and me in the car, sitting and driving and video recording, and we're heading to Reggio Emilia, to the fast train station, where we take the train to Rome, and then in 2 hours and a half we are in Rome. I have been invited by a Department of Forestry and Agriculture, an event where it's about youth and music and art and things like this. So there will be like a few concerts, and it's about the connection between wood we use and musical instruments. And I will have a short speech. They asked me to talk for 10 minutes, which is kind of, for me, almost impossible, but I will give my best. I brought a few pieces, and let's see if I can show them in 10 minutes the beauty of my profession and the beauty of my wife. The key point is that the material we build our instruments is wood. And the FAO has been founded 80 years ago, and their major aim at the moment it was founded was to fight hunger in the world. And there was a lot of hunger in the world 80 years ago. Nowadays, they still fight hunger, and they amplified their area of where they're working on. And a very important part is forestry. Forestry, the wood, what you can do out of the wood, the industry which is working with the wood, and all the other tiny things which go along. And one of these is violin making. Now, of course, a small violin maker like me, and even all Cremonese violin makers together, are a very, very small part. And if it doesn't really change too much if we now use ebony from here or ebony from there. But if an industry is building, let's say, 10,000 more pieces than entire Cremona is building in 1 year, you can imagine that this has an impact on the, let's say, ebony or the spruce or the specific maple which we are using. Okay, so now here we are inside the United Nations building in Rome at the FAO. The whole event is actually because of the 80 years of anniversary since this FAO has been founded. Today, this evening, it's about the forestry, about the wood, and I'm in charge of talking to my relation to wood, how the wood sounds, how it talks, if it talks to me, if I listen to it, then what I turn out of this wood I'm working with. They made already a short interview with me this morning. I'm a violin maker from Cremona, Italy, and my profession is to use wood as a very great sounding material, choose it, listen to it, and transform it to a violin like this. I didn't expect it to be such a big event, such a important one. A lot of nations. You can't imagine in front of me all these flags, all the countries which are part of this association, world famous institution, which is very important for all of us, that we have great woods to work with. So within this short explanation, what the FAO of the United Nations is, I'm a super tiny part of it. And there were also some other people showing their instruments from Africa, which he built and what he was playing. He is going to play a kora, which he built himself, improvising a lot, but it's a very interesting instrument. Very curious to listen to this instrument. And there was also this group from Far East. It was interesting to see all this and all the effort they have made, and then behind there was a buffet, and actually there was a big meeting going on, and after the meeting people were invited to come and to join us to this event. And here is the setup of the event. Baroque cello and Baroque violins will be played. It's about better production, better nutrition. Here there's the event. Somebody from Africa is playing I think it's a kura, this instrument. And then here is better environment and better life. It's quite a big event, and I'm very happy and proud to be here as a speaker. And within this event, I had to talk about Cremonese violin making.
This tiny instrument is huge and has a lot of know-how of human being, chemistry, taste, culture, the wood, and this is actually where we come tonight to talk about, craftsmanship, marketing, sales, running a 21st century business. This all includes violin making. You wouldn't even imagine how the world became small for me, traveling to China, to the music fair, to Germany, to music fairs in America. Worldwide, there are fairs going on, and this is actually the violin making world, okay? Just need to see a little bit the time so we don't talk too much, huh?
The time I was allowed to talk was 10 minutes, and that was actually the major problem because our trade is so much bigger that in 10 minutes you finished the headlines of what you could talk about. So I had to somehow bring it to a point that within a short moment of 10 minutes, people understand what this work is, what it consists. And on the other side, I wanted, of course, also point out that I'm working with precious wood, which we get from Italy, northern part of Italy, Val di Fiemme, Bosnia, the maple. I was not supposed to talk about the ebony.
It all starts with a tree, right? And if you have an entire tree, we have several trees. The main wood we are using is maple. We love the maple from Bosnia, but there are also other areas where they come maple. And it's actually grown like this together. And it is like this, it makes the entire tree, okay? So if we just go to a wood dealer and we slice up the entire tree, we could only use the centerpiece. So from the very beginning, when a tree is cut, we have to decide already, is this going to be tonewood, how they call it, or is it just wood for other things, furniture?
So I somehow tried within very few minutes to try to get the message. And of course, since people come into my workshop and the ones who are not into the trade, one of the first things after they get a little bit idea of how much work stands behind making one instrument, they ask you how many instruments you make a day and how much does an instrument cost. So the price makes part of the explanation, because up to that point that somebody has no idea that an instrument like this, let's say, costs 17,000 and this one here costs 57,000. I think the price opens up your mind immediately and you what? Like if you look at some art and it has a huge price, then you take a little bit more time to look at it because you want to try to understand why it is so expensive and why it costs this. So this was actually the key point where I thought it's important to get that message.
What I just wanted to point out, there is a standard price, and then up there is no limit, so I can fulfill the sound and also the optical appearance of the instrument for every customer. I could now keep on talking for, but it gets too much. But last thing, I have a YouTube channel where you can see a little bit more details about it. My homepage where you can see the instruments, watch them 360 degrees, listen to every single instrument, and I think this should be enough for tonight, okay? And last tiny detail, you don't have to play the violin to be a happy owner of a master-made Cremonese instrument. Yeah, it sounds strange, but it is a very good way of investment. It's between 5 to 7%. Yeah? Okay, thank you very much.
I think most of the people of the audience liked it very much, and a lot of people later on reached me up and talked to me and made me compliments. There was one who didn't like it at all. Probably he wants to impress someone else, or I have no idea why he had these problems. Wrote a long thing that he didn't like my speech, especially because I was only talking about prices. So probably he didn't listen to the first minutes and only to the last one. FAO was a great experience. I love to talk to front of a lot of people. I was impressed that a lot of people from the FAO are watching my videos, even though they don't play the violin yet. So I'm more famous than I expected. I didn't imagine something like this. And I hope they enjoy also this video and tell their friends that I'm here making some videos about this. Hope you enjoyed even this one. And if you have not subscribed, subscribe, because there are like 4 times more people out there watching my videos and they didn't subscribe. It's appreciated and we get a few coins because you subscribed. Isn't that a great idea? Do it very much. Thank you so much. I appreciate that this worked out and you now subscribe. How do you feel? Is this a great feeling? Start to get used to it, to subscribe to the channels you watch. Thank you. See you next time. Ciao, ciao.